Hello, welcome back to my channel, Hasty Books. I'm Camilla, and today I decided to start kind of vlog, which is why I'm like in pajamas, because this isn't like a proper setup for filming. Also in the guest bedroom. My hair's wet, I've just come back from a run, so I went to the shower. But I just thought I would do an intro to this video. Might change it later, we'll see. So earlier this week, on the 7th of March, the Women's Prize for Fiction longlist was announced. We are 3 days later, on the 10th of March. And I've had time to recollect my thoughts on the long list and, look into the books and also reserve as many books as I can. And I decided that instead of coming back to you with a video saying like, just rehashing what the books are about, which I'm sure there's plenty of videos like that about. I've been watching loads and I love them all. But I thought I would do things slightly differently than usual than I do. So I was going to do a vlog and I just tell you how my reading is going. Might do one per month, see how that goes. I'll see. So good to start by saying that I had read 0 of the books that were longlisted. So out of the 16, I had only predicted 1, as you may have seen in my predictions video and my initial reaction video. And that was A Marriage Portrait by Maggie O'Farrell. I had not read it. Actually, I'm on a hold right now at the library for it. But I still got started swiftly. I was able to find 13 of the 16 books, either for free on Scribd. I got a month for free, again, anyway. And also all from the library and the library apps. So 13, 3 that I cannot find, but we'll deal with that at some point. I jumped in the first one, and I've already finished it because it's really short, was Children of Paradise by Camilla Grudova. So the audiobook was on Scribd. So if you're in the UK, you can look that up if you want. And it's really short, it's like 4 or 5 hours or whatever. So I just jumped on that one because it's the shortest one. And I just love to, check something off. So I hated it, to put it mildly. This is the kind of book where I think my review was, do I hate literary fiction? Because that's kind of what it made me feel. It's a bunch of garbage people being garbage to each other and to everyone, really, working in a garbage cinema. That is the gist of it. And I don't like to read about just terrible people being terrible for almost no reason. There's no background or context to this book. There is no growth either to the characters. There's just horribleness happening after horribleness. And I feel like sometimes literary fiction, just loves that and loves to just be terrible. And I'm not into it. I'm not into it. Like last year I read Sorrow and Bliss by Meg Mason and I didn't love the character, but then there's so much growth through the book and you kind of just get going with it, and it was funny as well. So that's the kind of flawed character that I enjoyed, and I did not enjoy the flawed character in Children of Paradise. So yeah, that's my review of that. Anyway, I've now started reading, also listening to audiobook for Wandering Souls by Cecile, which is a book about basically children escaping from Vietnam. I'm only about halfway through. I'm enjoying that up to now. It's very lyrical. There's weird choices in narration, but enjoying it up to now anyway, so all good. And just before I went on my run today, I ended up going to the library to pick up 3 holds. I was supposed to be 2 and I got to the library and it probably had 3 books and I was like, oh gosh. So because I requested everything, I put hold on everything. But yeah, 3 of them have come out already. They're all quite short. I think they're all under 300 pages. So there is hope. Because I think you only get 3 weeks with these books. So I'm going to try to go 1 a week. We'll see how that goes. The first one is Pod by Laline Paull. This is weird already. This is in the voice of a dolphin. I've read the first paragraph on my way back from the library and I was like, all right, weird. Apparently it's like a YA in the voice of a dolphin, and it's kind of a climate crisis kind of situation. Anyway, so the second one is Cursed Bread by Sophie Mackintosh. This one I'm kind of looking forward to, actually. I think it's gonna be good. It's, I think, the shortest one, and it's about basically this village where a bunch of people were, I want to say, murdered by the baking goods, by the baker's wife or something like that. I don't know, but I'm looking forward to it. This is very kind of in keeping of the last few years of covers as well. And finally, the last hold that came in just in the nick of time when I got to the library was Trespasses by Louise Kennedy. So this is book based during the Troubles in Northern Ireland. I look forward to reading this and finding out more. I also read like The Colony by Audrey Maggie last year, which I thought was really good. This one is based in Ireland, but it has like hints of what's happening in Northern Ireland and in the Troubles and everything. So yeah, so I think this is gonna be really good. It looked a bit chunky and I was like, oh, but it seems to be less than 300 pages, or just about 300. 308 or something like that. So I'll try to go with one a week. We shall see how that goes. Because I'm trying to be chill with my reading. And the last video I filmed, that's why I said. So I guess we'll see. I'm trying to be kind to myself, but also I just, you know, the Women's Prize is when I want to push and read. So I will try my best. I will get back to you as I finish books, and I'll give you my updates as well on what's happening in this vlog, and we'll see kind of later in March how it looks. All right, bye. Hello, we are now a week later. This is Friday the 17th of March. Happy St. Patrick's Day to all my Irish people out there. I have finished 3 books this week, so I'm 4 books in, so a quarter of the way through the list. I can do this. So what books have I read? I've already given you my review of Children of Paradise, garbage. Second book that I finished was Cursed Bread by Sophie Mackintosh. I picked it up from the library last Friday, finished it on Sunday morning, could not stop reading it basically. And I really enjoyed it. Like, the writing was like pulling me in and it was so good. The writing is honestly the most brilliant part of this. It is a book of longing, of envy, of desire, and it's so well done. So well done. I do think that it's a bit forgettable. That's what my fear is. I feel like next month I'll have forgotten about this. So maybe there's that a little bit, but it was really interesting. And also obviously Googled the Pain Maudit or Cursed Bread event that happened in the 50s in France, which is based on a real story. And it's so weird. And then we were literally watching something, I think, was it The Last of Us, which is technically about flour poisoning people and stuff like that. So I was like, in a week of, I was like, I will not have bread this week. So yeah, I really enjoyed it. I also finished Wandering Souls. Ugh, I absolutely love that book. It started a little bit disjointed to me and a little bit kind of forgettable. Like a story about Vietnam, boat people. Like, it just feels like it's been done and I've read it before. But no, I have not read this book before. This book was so unique in the way, in its approach, to me anyway. Maybe you'll have read something similar. But I absolutely loved it. Cecile did an amazing job at layering the narratives as well. At first I thought some of the narratives was her, but no, it's completely fiction. It's based on some of her mother's history and heritage, actually leaving Vietnam to settle in France as refugees. But obviously this is following a group of children who lose their parents and some of their other siblings and escape into Hong Kong, I believe. And then they get resettled in England, Margaret Thatcher's England. But we really like go through, we moved decades and everything till modern day. And I love that bit because it follows through and we see the effect on the children's children basically. And I absolutely love that. Oh my goodness. Yeah, it was like a heart-wrenching, like I was literally almost crying at times. It was just so powerful. I 100% recommend it. It's my top book of the list right now of all 4 that I've read. And yeah, incredible. I also finished listening to the audiobook The Bandit Queens by Parini Shroff. This sounded really cool to me because it's almost like a revenge narrative, kind of a la Promising Young Woman kind of situation, but based in a village in India. And I thought it was really well done. It was really fun and entertaining. And it has some really dark moment of domestic violence especially. And I thought it layered, again, so many things, obviously about patriarchy, about women's position, about India's culture, you know, because it talks about caste a lot. And I remember a couple of years ago I had read a book based on the Dalit women, so I remembered it when I was reading this book. And yeah, it's just really fascinating. At times to me the voices weren't completely consistent, and I have to say, while it was entertaining And it's definitely one of the books that's pulled me through the fastest because it was just kind of fun and easy to follow, kind of a very easy plot in that sense, where, you know, it's happening linear. But I don't know if it's prize-worthy to me. Like, it was a great book, but I just don't know. I don't know. At the moment, these are my thoughts. I will probably see again when I've read more of these books, but up to now, I thought it was a really interesting, good book. And I think it has some things to say, but I don't know if it would be that much further. So at the moment, I think top of my list is Wandering Souls by Cecile. Then I think Cursed Bread and The Bandit Queens are sort of equal. Cursed Bread I thought was really well written. It's all form, basically, because I think the plot is a bit kind of, there's not really a plot, it's very character driven. And The Bandit Queen is a mix of character and plot, but it's much more plot driven. So I feel like they did things differently, and I don't know that the writing was like exceptional. And then Children of Paradise is like below everything. So yeah, this is my update, and I've started reading Pod. I'm only 50 pages in. I should be further into this book because I want to finish it by next week so that I can start the book by Louise Kennedy. That I've forgotten the word now. Trespasses. But this is weird, and I'm not one who DNFs. If I was, I would have DNF'd this already. But I also don't think you can review a book if you DNF'd it. So I kind of want to get to the end because I feel sometimes, especially the second half, really redeems a book for me because it takes me a long time to get into books, which is also why I don't DNF. So it takes me a long time to get into a book. Sometimes the second half just redeems it so much. And sometimes even just the end, I'm just like, oh my god, amazing. So I have hopes for this, but it's weird. At the moment, it's been a dolphin and a whale giving us their narrative. And I think I have a weird vision of dolphins right now, so I think it's not giving me the best kind of approach to this book. But we'll see. I'm going to continue, but this is my first update. You know, the first 4 books, the first week and a half, we'll see. Also, if you are reading it, please go and check out the channel of the lovely ladies I will just tell you about now. They are doing a women's prize fiction plot along, and they are hosting little like chats and reading sprints. Well, it's not really a sprint, it's more like a relaxed time every week. So it's Alice in the Giant Bookshelf, Gem of Books, and Charlie Brooke Reads. I will link them in the box below so you can go and check them out. And yeah, just let me know how your journey is going. Tell me in your comments what you thought about the books that I've read, and don't forget to give it a like and a follow, you know? Love a little bit of support. And as always, thank you so much for watching, and hey, see you back. Bye. Hello, I'm back. We are the Friday 24th of March, and I thought I would give you a wee kind of weekly update on how it's going. This week I took a wee break from listening to audiobooks for the prize, and I finished a book that was actually on my February TBR. So I finished it in the last week, and I have yet to start a new audiobook. We'll see this weekend where I go. I haven't actually finished any book for the Women's Prize this week, but I am literally like 40 pages to go in this one. So I will be finishing it probably after this video, really. I should be doing some PhD work, but after this video or tonight in bed, I will finish Trespasses by Louise Kennedy. I've actually really enjoyed this book, and because I don't have that many pages left, I can't imagine I'm gonna turn around and hate it. So I just thought I'd give you a wee update. I will get back to you when I finished it to give you my review of it. But yeah, I'm really enjoying it up to now. It is quite slow and nothing much happens, but it says so much about the troubles. The main character of this book is a young woman, Kushla, and she lives kind of near enough Belfast during the Troubles, and she's a teacher, so she's interacting with these children, and especially this one little boy and this family that have kind of seems to have been pushed aside, and they're really like downtrodden kind of thing. And I've actually really enjoyed that side of things. The other side of things is that she's having an affair with a married man. This happens really on her own, it's not a spoiler. Literally in chapter 2, she was like, look at this hot old guy. She's 24 and he's described as being in his 50s and married and having children who are literally like off at university or whatever, something like that. I don't mind an age gap, but to me that's going too far, and I definitely thought she was being a young stupid girl the whole time because of it. Mistakes, and obviously he's being an old creepy guy. Anyway, that's kind of the part of the story that I was just like, please God, stop. But anyway, I will report back when I finished. Hello, and I am back again on the last Friday of March, so we are March 31st. I've just finished work, and I thought I would film a little video to wrap up some of the books I've read this week. So in the last video, we talked about how I was about to finish Trespasses. So I finished it on Saturday morning, and then I didn't film my reaction to the ending, and so here we are. So what did I think about Trespasses? I think in the previous video, I just talked about general thoughts about the character and her affair and just how it went. And now that I finished it, I just wanted to give you my overview. I think I enjoyed this book. And now that I've had a little bit of time to think about it, it's quite slow. Not much happens, but there's really like a view into the life of a young person living in Northern Ireland during the Troubles. And I thought that that was really interesting, especially the relationship with the family that she becomes kind of intertwined with as she's trying to help. I don't know what I thought about the ending. I think a lot of people are like, get to the end and they're like, oh, finally everything's kind of makes sense. Like all the threads are kind of accounted for, and it kind of wrap things up. I just don't know that I needed that. All those links that she's trying to make at the end. And also to me is just reasserting the kind of stuff that I didn't like about the whole affair. And yeah, so I don't know. I think this book isn't very memorable. A bit like Cursed Bread, I think, that I mentioned. It's just, I think I enjoyed reading it, and I read it quite quickly. Like once I was in, I was like quite taken with the main character more than actually I was with Cursed Bread. Like I said, it's a bit of a slow burn, but it gives you an insight into life during the Troubles, but I don't know if it achieves much more for me. So yeah. The other book that I finished this week. Pod. I did it. I finished it. Oh, it was so hard to finish. I should have given up on this book in the first 2 chapters. I hated it from the beginning. I hated it until the end. And there's sometimes like I would be reading in bed and I'd be like, oh, and my husband was like, what's going on? And I'm like, I hate this book. I don't want to read it. And he was like, don't. And I'm like, no. I think in the Women's Prize for Fiction plot along that is being hosted on BookTube, I think lots of people are talking about how they're DNFing this, and I'm not surprised, but I wanted to get till the end, so you don't have to. Maybe I should do a review like that. People love to do these videos. I read this, so you don't have to. I'll get back to you with a review like that. But anyway, I'm not a big fan of the ocean. It scares me. I'm not particularly interested in dolphins. I quite like whales, but you know, fish and dolphins, I'm just not that interested. And this is kind of like the inner workings of a community. And I don't know what's happened. This is clearly a cli-fi, like climate crisis, kind of post-apocalyptic. I don't know what the fuck's happened to the ocean in this. And she never gets into it. She just tells us everyone's dead. And you're like, oh, okay, what happened? Is it just that is like we've drained our ocean? Like, what happened? I would love for this to be based in something more like concrete. I think with post-apocalyptic with humans it makes more sense because you can kind of potentially see where it's going, and they usually explain it. But because the animals in here aren't really responsible, they have no idea what's going on. And as they are being murdered, they have no idea what's going on. And my biggest issue with this book is all the rape, dolphin rape, left and right, gang rape, just everything. So I have no idea why she wrote this. I hated it. I rated it 2 stars, 1 star, because it was written all right. You know, I have nothing against her writing. It's just the whole plot and idea of it that I'm extremely offended by. And 2, actually the ending was all right, and it kind of got a little bit in my feels. So I was like, okay, I went on this journey. I can now say why I hate this book properly. And here we are. I have done it. I can now put it down and hopefully never look at it again. It better not be shortlisted is all I'm gonna say. And the last book, I'm actually in the last 45 minutes of Fire Rush. I will get back to you hopefully tomorrow because I would like to wrap this video nicely. Hello, okay, so I've just finished Fire Rush. My onions are cooking, so I thought I'd take this time to tell you what I thought. And I find like these vlogs a bit difficult to just tell you immediately after finishing because it means I haven't sat with it. But my initial reaction is that I don't think that this book was for me. And I knew that from the beginning. I'm not a big fan of books based in the 70s. I'm not a big fan of books about music, which, you know, this book is both of these things. I did love the aspect of exploring the kind of really turbulent time in London, especially with like the oppression of Black people by the police and the government and everything. And also later on in the book, and hopefully that's not a spoiler, but the main character heads off to the Caribbean, and I really enjoyed that part and kind of reconnecting to her roots in a way. So I thought that was really nice. You don't get much of the love story because it happens really early at the beginning and then it kind of stops. So I feel like I didn't have as much of a link, even though she keeps repeating that she has that really deep emotional connection and impact. Like I just didn't really feel like this, because this isn't a romance. This is not what it is about. But I just felt like that was missing to me because she was telling me and she hadn't really showed me that much. But overall, I think it was a good book. I just don't think it was for me, so I didn't really enjoy it. There's also sexual abuse in this. What is it with literary fiction? Sex always has to be horrible, disgusting. People have to hate themselves. It has to be abuse. You know, this is one of the things I don't like about literary fiction, just as a whole. And I feel like I've been getting a lot of that recently with the Women's Prize. So I need a break. I need a break, please. But anyway, back to your regular viewing. So at the moment, what does that mean in terms of the Women's Prize for Fiction? It means I have read, well, when I finish Fire Rush, I will have read 7 books out of 16. There is one that I cannot find. So I'm just decided I'm never going to try to find that one unless it pops up in the next few weeks. I'm just giving up on that one. And I'm hoping it won't get shortlisted, so I don't have to read it. So that means that I have 8 books to read hopefully in April. Lols. I don't think that I'm going to read 8 books in April, before the end of April as well, because the shortlist is being announced on the 26th. So I will have 25 days, probably less, because I would like to do like a shortlist predictions video before. So really, I'll have 2.5 weeks to read these books. Also, I'm going on a holiday to England and then to Ireland. So I don't know how much I'm going to end up reading, but I am trying. I'm almost halfway to this list. And up to now, my favorite is still Wandering Souls by Cecile. Beautiful. Most of the other ones, not loved. Actually, quite disappointed up to now by this list as a whole, but I shall get back to you on my feelings when I have read more and finished more books. So yeah, I will wrap up this video soon and then I shall get back to you with more reading in April for the Women's Prize. So thank you so much for watching and I see you back. Bye!